part of the difficulty of getting the lesbian writer to come out is the fact that women in general traditionally have been silenced and muted in our patriarchal society. Being a woman and a lesbian makes us more maybe vulnerable to attack. And so maybe the lesbian writers have been less bold than the male gay writers in expressing who they were or are and writing their stories and putting it out there. Even after I published my work, it seemed that the society wasn't interested in making it visible. And that's I think at the root of the seeming invisibility of the Philippine lesbian writer. Initially, I was planning to call it queer. I didn't want to use the term lesbian because it seemed like it was, you know, outdated, I guess, when you think about where LGBTQ politics is going. It's like, why would you still call yourself a lesbian when you can call yourself queer, and then and allow the term queer to open up the possibilities. And even for myself as a lesbian, um, I thought, would that limit the writers, the contributors to the anthology? So in fact, that was a major decision to call it lesbian. In my dissertation, I used the term pagka lesbiana, so pagka hyphen lesbiana, to cover uh, the idea of lesbian becoming. So in a way, it opens up. The way I theorize about it is that it should open up the identity or the subjectivity of each lesbian writer in terms of how she articulates this subjectivity in the writing. So not so much as a monolithic, unchanging, unified lesbian identity, but something that is constantly being negotiated and something that's always becoming. So lesbian becoming part of um, my role as a lesbian writer um, and academic is to encourage the writing from the community. So sometimes it's really not so much like upholding so-called literary standards of writing, but more of providing opportunities for individual voices to be encouraged. I think we are being overly critical of each other, and I suspect it's because there's so few of us putting our work out there that people think that we should be writing what represents the Philippine lesbian. You read one of my stories and people think, oh, this is the Philippine lesbian. No one story, no one movie, no one poem can embody the Philippine lesbian. It's impossible. And so that's why I think we're being overly critical. We want to see ourselves represented in the story, represented in the film. And if we don't see ourselves there, then we think, ah, lousy, or oh, it's a failure. But you can't blame us for wanting to be represented because we've been so invisible for so long. So I guess it's part of the struggle. And eventually, when we have more work out there, then we will stop asking each piece of writing or art to represent all of us all in this in one blow. It's it's unfair. It's really unfair to the lesbian creatives, the queer creatives, uh, to expect ourselves to do that. No, we're all just trying to make sense of our, I think, individual um, experiences and putting it out there, just like any creative. But because of the politics behind identity, we feel, that the work is harder. The expectations are higher. We really should just keep writing. We should write against the silencing. We should write against the invisibility that the system, the patriarchal system, the literary system is forcing us in, because that's how we triumph over adversity. We just keep on practicing. First, we have to create the work, and that's half the battle. And then put the work out there. And because there are so many opportunities now to put our work out there, then that's the other half of the battle. And then in the end, we hope that we will have done our part in freeing the Philippine lesbian.